Hey guys, what is up? Optitron D27 here, and today is going to be a video on Transformers Prime. Now, my friend asked me to do a video on Transformers Prime because, she loves it so much. And so, here you go, insert name here. So, Transformers Prime was an animated series that was made in 2010, and it was... How do I word this properly? Gosh darn friggin' amazing! This was an awesome series. It had great animation, great storytelling, and amazing characters. You follow this small ragtag group of Autobots on Earth, obviously, but the government knows about them, and they keep themselves in hiding. So yes, they are still robots in disguise. They're not hiding themselves entirely from humanity. So the government knows about them. So their base is in a, emptied military base. And so the cast consists of the characters you can see here, minus that K. So it consists of Bumblebee, RC, Optimus Prime, Ratchet, Cliffjumper, and Bulkhead. Though Cliffjumper, he was killed off in the first episode, so... let's see here. I'm trying to pick a different one. Here you could see some more characters that would have been in here. So it had tons of characters planned to be here. You got Prowl there. You got RC, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper. They all made it. And you had Ironhide and Hotshot, but they were all cut. That's sad. It's really sad. Let's see here. This is a better... So you also get Ultra Magnus, Smokescreen, and Wheeljack. They also come in. So here's a good shot of the entire cast of Autobots. So here you go. And so, Transformers Prime is part of the Aligned continuity. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to do a video on the rest of the Aligned continuity. Now, Transformers Prime... Like I said, it follows a small group of characters, so therefore, within that small group of characters, there's room for more character development. So, like I said, you have Ultra Magnus, Smokescreen, Ratchet, Bumblebee, Optimus, RC, Wheeljack, and Bulkhead. And then for the Decepticons, let's see if there's an image of the Decepticons here. I'll go ahead and tell you though. Oh yeah, here we go. So you have the Viacons. Then you have Predaking, you have the Insecticons, you have Knockout, and what the... This is happening again. So then you have Knockout, Breakdown, Starscream, more V-Guns in the back, Megatron, Soundwave, and Shockwave. And, man, first of all, the designs are cool. Introduces this new, this different design that's so unique, but yet so cool. They're slick but jagged, and it reimagines them entirely. Never before has Megatron been like this. When you had met in his future canon, when he is still very powerful, is kind of smaller and compressed. I think it's the first time we've ever heard of Knockout. Breakdown is reimagined. You got Starscream here. He's got high heels. He's all slick and slender. I mean, this image doesn't really do him justice, but he's all slick and slender. Then you got Soundwave here, who's also slick and slender, but well, not really so much slick as jagged and slender, but still. He has like a vow of silence about him. He has this eerie feel about him. He's so cool, so scary, and so awesome. Then you have Shockwave here. Not much different from him. He's just your typical Shockwave. So yeah, it's just really great. I really love this series. So, Transformers Prime is... It's just an amazing series. I'm probably gonna say this a lot through this video. So Transformers Prime is a kid-friendly show, yes. There is some kind of blood themes about it. Yes, since some of you may know, Energon is their sort of lifeblood, and you do see that a lot throughout the series. So there is that, and there is one episode where you see RC, she where she relives traumatizing experiences. So, well, when I say kid friendly, I mean older kid friendly, kids who can handle themselves. Now, I was watching this show when everyone else my age was watching Mickey Mouse, so you know, probably not best. Let's just say my mind's a little messed up, and the area up top, and so yes, definitely don't show your 5-year-old this. Maybe kind of more like 10, 8-year-old, I'd say. So story, you follow the, so it takes place in Megatron. He's been gone off searching for Dark Energon, the blood of Unicron. And you see Starscream, he is in control of the Decepticons. And, and so he stumbles across Cliffjumper, captures him, kills him, and that sends RC into a downward spiral. He was her partner. And well, I'll leave that up to you, if you know what I'm saying. So he was her partner, and and so that was traumatizing for her. And so throughout the series, she's a little darker. She's not your classic pink RC from G1, no. And she's a motorcycle too. Motorcycle chick. Yeah. Cliffjumper had it good. No, I'm kidding. Or am I? So RC is a kind of sort of darker character. She is so cool. My friend really loves her. Like I said, there's not much to say about Cliffjumper. He's killed in the first episode. But after that, Megatron returns, and it's this big thing, and he actually has Dark Energon, something that's very dangerous. So he has it, and like I said, it's dangerous. So he uses it on Cliffjumper's dead body, and it reanimates him to this morbid, bloodthirsty zombie. Again, I say it's a kid show for older kids. So there's that, and yeah, kid show for older kids. Kid show for older kids. Real great series though. Right, so so anyway, yeah, he reanimates him, and he realizes it's something that if he can control it, it is very powerful. And so he grabs a big chunk of it, and he puts it inside himself. And now, now that happens, he knows its powers, he can control it. So if he were to reanimate another body, he would be able to control it. And so he finds another huge chunk, and through the space bridge, he chucks it into Cybertron to reanimate all the dead people there and bring them through the space bridge and help him conquer Earth. And so the Autobots, of course, try to stop them. And it's this big epic battle, and the space bridge is destroyed, and along with it, Megatron. This is just in the first few episodes, mind you. And so he is, and throughout that bit, you see Starscream taking command again, and they go through these little mini adventures. I probably mentioned they have humans with them, Jack, Raph, and Miko, and they're little human companions for them. Jack is the human companion for RC, Miko, Bulkhead, and Raph, Bumblebee. So there's those characters. And then there's Agent freaking Fowler. I'll tell more on him in the call I had. Anyway, so there's that, and he, you know, so there's those human characters there. They have little adventures with them as well, but there's not really much going on. Well, Optimus Prime and Ratchet go adventuring on a lost Autobot ship, and it's infected with this Cybertronian plague. And the only way to do it is, and the only way to cure it is to figure out the cure for Megatron. But he's dead, right? Well, plot twist, he's alive. The Decepticons have him, they've been nursing him back to health. Well, as much as they can. He is actually really dead. Well, yes, he's living, he's not really living. So yeah, it's kind of like, from those of you that seen The Princess Bride, he's mostly dead. So there's that. And so they were able to use the psychic patch, cortical psychic patch, to plug into his brain, and they access his consciousness, and they get the cure. But Megatron downloads his consciousness into Bumblebee, and he was able to take control of Bumblebee and get a chunk of Dark Energon and then stick it back into his body and re-upload his consciousness, making him fully living again. And so he then takes control of the Decepticons, and everything's back on track. They do more little mini adventures. They find relics, they do stuff, and then this, all through really great storytelling. And then there's one episode where it follows RC and Jack, and they're, patrolling a forest, and they stumble across a Cybertronian spaceship. Well, this Cybertronian spaceship happened to belong to a robot named Arachnid, and she has a past with RC. This is the episode I was telling you had, this is where it showed RC's traumatizing experiences. So I would recommend probably watching it first to see if you want your kid to see it. Parents' parenting techniques differ. So there's that. There's all kinds of different little adventures here and there. Ghost character, sort of. These are all really great episodes, mind you. I'm just trying to skip past the bits that don't really matter. So, and then it gets, to the latter episodes of the first season. And so Megatron starts dumping Dark Energon into the core of the Earth because there's some sort of prophecy about Unicron where he's actually the core of Earth. So he's trying to reawaken him, and he does. But this turns out to be a huge mistake, because then Unicron is, not really appreciative of, what he's done. And Unicron throughout this series is Primus bent on destroying Cybertron. And Megatron doesn't want that, so he then seeks the help of Optimus Prime. And, so they help him out. They find a way to get into, find a way to get into the actual inside of Unicron. And this guy is pretty big, so they're wandering around for a few episodes. And so they're going through, and because of the Dark Energon that Megatron has ingested many times, he is starting to try to control Megatron throughout the throughout the episodes. And so There's that little struggle there where you see, will Megatron help them? Won't he help them? This cool little tension there in the air. And they finally make it to Unicron's spark, and Optimus Prime empties the Matrix into him. And it, destroys him. But this then wiped Optimus Prime's memories to back when he was Orion Pax. And that's not good. Megatron, taking advantage of this, then uses him, and they get away, and Optimus Prime becomes a Decepticon. But he's not Optimus Prime, he's Orion Pax. He doesn't know Optimus Prime. Like I said, his memory's been wiped. And so the Autobots travel to Cybertron, go to Vector Sigma, regain Optimus Prime's memories, and then transfer them back into him. And they were able to, defeat him. So there's that. This is going to turn to the thing on my channel, isn't it? So then they regain Optimus Prime's memories, and then things continue. And it gets to this, it eventually goes on to where the Decepticons find the Autobots' base, and they destroy it. There are these things called the Omega Keys and the Omega Lock, where they were able to wording difficult, where they were able to they had the ability to rebuild Cybertron, which is a war-torn dead wasteland. But Megatron had the power, and he obviously wasn't going to use it to reanimate Cybertron and do something good with it. And so the Autobots had to destroy the Omega Lock, and that was not good. I mean, it was for Earth, but it was not good for them. And Megatron was able to find their base and destroyed them. Well, at least their base, supposedly destroying them. And so throughout the third season, you see the Autobots trying to regroup, get back together, everything. They were scattered and all over the place. And you see Shockwave come back, and he has his Predacons with him. And it's actually a really cool season. It's called Transformers Prime Beast Hunters. It's really cool. So it's kind of centered around like the Predacons, and they're hunting down ancient Predacon bones. Because Megatron sent the Predacons to Earth millions and millions of years ago, and that was inspiration to our, dragons and other fairy tales like that with mythical creatures. And so they go throughout that season finding and hunting down Predacon bones, and Shockwave finds some, and he's able to rebuild. He's able to build more Predacons. But the Predacons were extinct, so these are all clones, just so you know. Any bones they found, he was able to extract their CNA. That's basically like their DNA, and he's able to build more. It was super cool, actually. But Megatron realizes that if Predaking, the first Predacon that Shockwave had, who has become very sentient and has a robot mode and can talk and is very powerful, if they were to realize, which they could, that they could destroy the Decepticons and rule themselves, it would be a problem. And so Megatron scrapped the idea, but it's already had, Shockwave already made several others. And so they framed the Autobots to make it look like they stumbled across the lab where they were, and then they destroyed it. They baited the Autobots with Energon, and they basically called them Predaking, thinking that they found the lab, but they're here to destroy all the Predacons. And, they did, through some very well-placed bits by the Decepticons. And so there was this, whole thing, but the whole bit of resentment towards the Autobots and Optimus Prime, and he wanted revenge and everything. He later finds out it was Megatron who set the whole thing up, and it's, he goes on a rampage, and it's, he goes through destroying as many Decepticons as he can, looking for Megatron. And when he does, he gets his butt handed to him by Megatron, and then kicked off the Decepticon warship. Like, literally kicked off. Megatron shot him off the warship. And then this leads into the last episode, where the Autobots are able to find the Decepticon warship, and this is their last stand. They go, and it was this big fight thing. Optimus Prime gives his one shall fall, one shall stand speech, all thing, and it's a really cool couple episodes. Bumblebee dies, the Autobots win, that kind, happy-go-lucky stuff. Wait, Bumblebee died? No, don't worry, it's fine. So what happened was, Optimus Prime needed the Starsaber, which they have. It's like I said in those little adventures that they do. They find the Starsaber and all that. It's like I said, these are really cool episodes. I'm just kind of skipping through the ones that don't matter. And so they get the Starsaber, and Bumblebee's going to hand it to him, but Megatron shoots down Bumblebee, and I guess I should mention the Decepticons rebuilt the Omega Lock, and so they were getting ready to cyberform Earth. And, so this was like the main reasons why the Autobots were, there. That. Not the cord. Nothing happened. You didn't see anything. Alright. So, that's the main reasons why the Autobots were looking for the Decepticon warship in the first place. So they were doing that, and looks like I cut myself. So it was this big, thing. Bumblebee is shot and killed by Megatron, and he falls into the cyber matter from the Omega Lock. He falls in and he fades away. And it was supposed to be this big scene. Then Megatron was then able to defeat Optimus Prime and held him at gunpoint. And then you hear Bumblebee yell, "Megatron!" from behind. Megatron turns around and he's stabbed through with a Starsaber. It's really cool. It's really epic moments. It's just really amazing. So that's it for this video. For part 2, I will be playing an audio clip from a call I had, acting it out with figures, with my friend who was, turn off the light. My friend who was, so involved in Transformers Prime. Alright, so don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want me to talk about the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters movie, I would definitely do that. So, Optitron, out.